Keir Starmer? Oh yeah, Keir Starmer. About that. He's out in a final devastating insult, which he deserves completely. Rumors swirl that Keir Starmer was finally about to resign, and then, hysterically, Trump beat him to the punch and announced his resignation before he could do it formally, which is so funny. From Trump, and again before any official confirmation from Keir Starmer will resign as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He failed badly on two very important subjects, immigration and energy. I wish him well, President DJT. He's resigning, but he hasn't officially confirmed it yet. We all know what's happening. This is why you can't tell Grandpa anything. This is why we know, like, any information kept secret from the federal government has to be kept secret from Trump. He cannot keep a secret.
From a resounding victory less than 2 years ago to some of the lowest approval ratings for the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who is now coming under intense pressure. Some MPs are asking for a change. So what's happening within the Labour Party? Joining me now is former High Commissioner for Canada to the United Kingdom, Ralph Goodale. Sir, good evening and thank you for your time. Great to see you again.
Glad to join you.
So talk to us about what do you think is happening in UK politics. It seems that the UK Prime Minister is under intense pressure to step aside.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to these two old fogies. BBC, what about you?
Patrick O'Connell.
Laura Kuenssberg, Henry's here, is not at home. I do feel a sense of standing on the cliff edge of another Prime Minister.
I feel a slight sense of bewilderment because, yes, Prime Ministers have changed an awful lot in the past decade, but it is still shocking.
I don't want to listen to these guys either. What the hell? Well, I certainly don't want to listen to GB News. I guess all the news organizations are trying to be polite by not talking about his resignation as though it's guaranteed to happen.
Well, the future, Keir Starmer's future as UK Prime Minister is under serious threat after former Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham won the by-election to become an MP, and he will now challenge Keir Starmer for the Labour leadership. Have a look.
Makerfield in the future must be known as a byword for the change that came to British politics. This is the moment. We've been on a path for 40 years that simply hasn't worked.
Do you have any trust in Burnham? No. The Labour Party might as well not exist in the United Kingdom. It's a weak organization.
Worked for people and
Hold
places
on, where's
in
that
this
clip that I saw of Burnham?
the world.
1 second.
And this now is the change moment. We have an opportunity to turn the tide, to make the country feel like it's working.
Here we go. This is a clip of Andy Burnham from, I believe, 2015.
Now, I think we need to now reach out and we need to show that we are listening to people across the board, including in the community. It is clear that when we went into the last election, relationships were damaged. As leader of the Labour Party, I would make it my business to put those relationships right. And as a start of a 10, I can say tonight that the first foreign visit I would do as leader of the Labour Party would be to Israel, to show that message from the very start.
So yeah, no, I'm going to say, nah, probably not. Probably not much of a change in the Labour Party's future. Just a guess of mine. I don't have any explanation for the caption here. I'm sorry. It might be true. I don't know. I'm not going to say what the race of the applause was.
That this morning.
King again.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah. Meanwhile, Keir Starmer had remained defiant that he would try and fight off any challenge to his leadership.
If there is a contest, just to be clear with you, then yes, I will run, I will stand, and I've said repeatedly, I'm not going to walk away from that.
But, of course, reports today suggest that Keir Starmer will resign by as soon as Monday evening our time. We were hoping he'd resign during our show, but anyway. Let's cross to the UK and bring in political commentator and Conservative political advisor Claire Pearsall. Claire, great to see you.
Keir Starmer's approval rating in the United Kingdom is something like 20 points lower than Trump's in America. He's incredibly unpopular. Remember that Corbyn was never this unpopular. Keir Starmer, despite starting with an enormous lead given to him by the incompetence of the Tories and having a significant lead with MPs, has still managed to tank it, just utterly demolish the party. Just shocking, overwhelming, unprecedented incompetence, which is fitting, and no one will be able to change it. You know, it's the Labour Party, UK politics in general, with the exception perhaps of Polanski. It's going to remain that way. He's lower than Trudeau was at the end of his term, despite being in power for like a fifth of the time. Yeah, really embarrassing.
You again. He hasn't resigned yet. How long have we got?
I mean, sadly, we can't bring you breaking news on the show as much as I'd love to, but I think that we are looking...
Starmer's the best PM since, like, at least the Blairs. I disagree. I think Starmer might actually be the worst PM. For the same reasons we keep dipping into that J.D. Vance, Gavin Newsom hypothetical, which is that nothing inspires anti-democratic apathy quite so much as the Labour Party cutting ahead with an enormous lead, only to do literally nothing with it. Liz Truss is just like a little fart. Who cares? And with Boris, at least, you know, what, the Tories fuck things up? Okay. But what depreciates voter turnout? What makes people not care more than seeing the Labour Party do the exact same shit their predecessors did? YouTube chat is frozen? That's novel. Huh. Well, hopefully YouTube fixes that soon. Threw trans people under the bus. Threw trans people under the bus. Continued the worsening of the NHS. Ceded to the right on migration, immigration. And in so many ways, the Labour Party's job over the past few years has been to remind voters that they might as well not even show up and try. Not to mention the Islamophobia, man. Jesus Christ. Not to mention, like, we're declaring a national emergency because of some Jewish ambulances getting burned and to be mosque that was a synagogue decades ago. But we're gonna, like, barely say anything at all about an active fucking pogrom against migrants taking place in Northern Ireland, you know? Incredibly embarrassing. Threw disabled people under the bus too. Gun to your head, Labour or Democrats? Democrats. I think the I think the Labour Party is just a worse version of the Democratic Party. Like everything I hate the Democratic Party for, the Labour Party is a worse version of that. Why is every centre-left party so dickless? I wonder why.
At Monday, so probably evening for you guys, and somewhere in the sort of mid-morning to afternoon for us. It's looking as if he is currently at his country residence with his wife, discussing what his plans for the future are. Now, I think it's all very easy to see how this works out. He's going to make a decision that he's going to resign. It's going to be an orderly exit, or so he thinks. But what he hasn't banked upon is it could not just be Andy Burnham.
The Democratic Party isn't as internally authoritarian as the Labour Party. The right wing is completely captured and controls the Labour Party. And, worth remembering, it's Zionism. The Labour Party has alienated and ostracized all of its internal, authentic left-wing elements by cynically invoking anti-Semitism as a cudgel. They did the same thing against Corbyn. Blairites in the party deliberately manufactured and inflamed accusations of anti-Semitism because they, and this is very explicit, this is not like a lefty analysis thing, this was their stated intention, would rather lose to the Tories than allow Corbyn to be their PM. Unbelievably disgusting. These people do not believe in democracy, not even a little bit. Keir Starmer's done this. Burnham has done this. They've all done this. Zionism is the rhetorical and id-pull wedge they use to justify the erosion of democracy and the attacks on the left wing within the Labour Party. I think in terms of harm reduction, I unironically prefer Reform to Labour right now. Well, the Reform Party and the Labour Party probably wouldn't govern that differently, to be honest with you. It kind of seems, it's the uniparty shit, you know? It seems like the trajectory is going to be more or less the same no matter what. But I suppose we'll see. Can you inform me of the role Tories currently play? They play no role. Tories are currently, like, might as well not even exist. They're completely... The Conservatives in the UK have been completely axed out by Reform, and now they're getting axed out by Restore. But the Tories themselves are just like, they're just there to fill up votes from 80-year-olds who aren't paying attention to the news. And Reform Tommy Robinson is buddy-buddy with Netanyahu. Netanyahu is an ally to all despots, fascists, and reactionaries around the world. All evil.
That wants to be the next prime minister. You could find that there's a couple of others who want to put their hat into the ring as well. So any kind of orderly exit will be out of the window.
James.
Well, Claire, you've got to love a Labour man of the people like Keir Starmer going off to his country house to consider his future. But that aside here...
All right, that's enough cackling.
We fear so much, but you really feel it's kind of visceral.
I think we can't reiterate enough that the basic reason this is happening is because Labour MPs, many of them, think they are going to lose their jobs at the next general election with Sir Keir Starmer as their leader and as the Prime Minister. That is the main dynamic which has driven the periodic leadership crises that Sir Keir Starmer has faced. So it may well
Burnham again called for a Gaza ceasefire just a few weeks after October 7th. I mean, sure, so did some Zionist Democrats. I'm really sorry. It's just like this is not a pattern that I can abide anymore. Center left, liberal, corporatist, weirdly deferential to Israel, totally unwilling to address any of the systemic problems that are undermining the country, weak against conservatives, like over and over and over and over and over again. Over and over and over again, man.
True. Indeed, some evidence suggests it is true that the public is very frustrated by frequent changes in Prime Minister, but the public also keeps showing through polling and focus groups and whatever else that they like almost every Prime Minister less than the last one.
Have I got to get ready for a lectern in Downing Street then?
I think you might have, yeah. Maybe tomorrow night. So let's just think about the timeline. We think Andy Burnham's going to come to Westminster tomorrow, take his seat as Makerfield. Keir Starmer's been in Chequers this weekend, but he may be back in Downing Street right now. We don't know, or he'll be back later today or perhaps very early tomorrow morning. So Andy Burnham time is up in London. Mm-hmm. The two men are expected to speak somehow. That might be in person. It obviously can't be in Downing Street. Andy Burnham is not going to walk up the street in Downing Street in front of the cameras. Perhaps they'll have a private meeting in Parliament, in the Prime Minister's office and behind the Speaker's chair, where people like me used to try and lurk around and then get moved on by the men in tights because you're not strictly speaking meant to stand there. But if you just happened to be walking past when there was something quite important happening, that's quite useful.
I don't want to interrupt the flow too much, but
Sorry.
Did you just say moved on by the men in tights?
Yes.
Okay. So
welcome to being a parliamentary reporter.
When you're in Parliament, it's the most natural thing ever.
Normal.
And then someone comes along and goes, hang on, why are they dressed like that?
Why are you wearing tights? Why have you got a sword? Anyway.
What are you talking?
Yeah, people in chat are saying Burnham believes in absolutely nothing. I'm just skimming his Wikipedia page while these fucking upper crust aristocrats talk it out over BBC podcasts. But look at this, man. Burnham's views. In 2016, as Shadow Home Secretary, Burnham opposed migration caps. He also opposed a bill requiring landlords to conduct immigration checks for illegal immigrants. It was reported in May 2026 that Burnham supports Shabana Mahmoud's efforts to limit legal and illegal immigration. Really? So in 2016, as Shadow Home Secretary, you oppose migration caps, but now you're adopting like the reform style, insane, racist, like we're going to limit legal and illegal immigrant. Like you're just changed his mind as an adult. Read that again. What? In 2016, he was pretending to be pro-immigration, and now he's pretending to be anti-immigration. In reality, he believes neither. There was a massive spike of immigration since then. Dog, are you really defending Mahmoud's anti-immigration push? This is indefensible. Burnham has U-turned on every point that's appealed to the public. His approval rating has dipped so hard with his flip-flopping about in Makerfield. The Burnham effect will not survive his premiership. None of them believe in anything, man. There's no such thing as a liberal. All right, where's his views on Israel? Mahmoud is the panopticon bitch? Yes. Control F Israel? That's literally cheating. I don't see a section for it. Yeah, I don't see anything. Burnham, Israel. Well, here's Al Jazeera talking about the resurfaced old clip, so that's funny. Where does Andy Burnham stand on Israel and Palestine from Haaretz? Let's see. No, that's not what I want to see. Recent clip?
Burnham was a member of Labour Friends of Israel. In the 2015 leadership contest, he opposed any boycotts of Israel and said his first foreign trip would be to...
No, this is just coverage of that. Man, it's weird to me that someone like Burnham can be pitched as a replacement for Keir Starmer, but he's apparently had so few conversations with media that there aren't like more recent clips of him talking about Israel. Like, there's really nothing in the past couple of years since October 7th. Like, there's not like a body of recent evidence. He wasn't part of national politics apparently until recently. Then why was he saying that shit in 2015? Andy Burnham declines to call Israel's mass killings in Gaza a genocide. I can't judge things of that enormity. Burnham, the more enormous a thing is, the more important it is that you judge it. I'm sorry, would you say that about the Holocaust? The Holocaust was more enormous than the Gazan genocide. If we're just going by numbers, would you put your hands up on that one? Jesus Christ. He's exactly the same as Keir Starmer. Starmer with a Manchester accent. If only I could pin that. It's really funny that one of the last things that Keir Starmer did was guarantee that young people will never again vote for the Labour Party. Reduce voter age in UK and then make them mad at you forever. Banning social media.
Every parent wants the best for their kids. And that's what being a parent means. And for me, for my 2 kids, all I've ever wanted...
Oh, hold on, wait. Andy Burnham a couple days ago?
I know a lot of Labour members that have left the party have done so over Israel and Palestine. And we just wanted to ask, what would your approach be to foreign policy in terms of what's going on in Gaza and the ongoing genocide there?
Well, obviously, you know, huge concern as others, many people do, about what's been going on there. As Mayor of Greater Manchester, I've met regularly with the Palestinian diaspora in Greater Manchester, visited with Labour Friends of Palestine in 2012. So, obviously, you know, I've got to be honest, you know, right now I've got to focus on the by-election.
Wow, really, really decisive, really, yeah. Phenomenal. Wow. 2012. Jesus, 14 years ago, huh? W-centrist response. Jeez, fucking...
That is my focus, but, you know...
Terrified.
I was one of those who called for a ceasefire.
Wow.
You know, shortly after events of October the 7th, as horrific as they were, but, you know, that was the stance that I took. So I have spoken out, taken, you know, a clear stance on these matters, and have done over many years.
I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it. The powers that be understand that liberal democracy is out the door. It's done. They can no longer maintain the artifice. The interests of capital and the interests of the Democratic majority no longer align nominally enough that they can keep the artifice going. These governments are not beholden to your interests. They might as well all be run by a uniparty. No matter who you vote for or what you vote for, the same basic things keep on happening. There is no longer any transformative change. It's difficult to imagine, but there was once a time on Earth in many countries, different points of time, different countries, whatever, where you could vote for a bold transformational candidate with bold transformational policies, and bold transformational things would actually happen. But now, no longer. We're all consigned to the same fate. Neoliberalism has set us on a path that we cannot be deviated from without massive system collapse, and that's exactly what we're headed towards. And they know this, which is why they don't believe in democracy either. The only people who can rise to the top in these systems are narcissists and shameless grifters who are okay lying nonstop because they know there's not really an alternative. Anyway, under 16 social media ban.
Hand on heart is for them to be safe and for them to be happy, and the rest is up to them. But you know, I think back to when I was growing up, and I have to say, I think we had it easier. These days, kids have to find their feet in a world that changes so quickly, where technology intrudes into every area of their lives.
I feel like this should be its own segment, the whole, like, massive push for under 16 social media bans. Actually, yeah, let's do that separately. Hold on one second. Let me do a little marker here.